share with you guys today. It's kind of a multi-segment video, so please stick with me here. I just started collecting shockumentary type videos again and films. Those of you that don't know what a shockumentary is, it's a documentary type film mixed with shocking contents, shocking media, which could be anything from, death, destruction, to, accidents, to, disease, anything that is meant to shock a person, something that is kind of off the wall to the point where it shocks somebody, makes your jaw drop, shocking. So that's a shockumentary film. Faces of Death was kind of the originator of the series back in the, I guess it was the 80s, on VHS tapes. And, you could go back in the day, back in my time, you could go into a video rental store and rent a Faces of Death movie. They were in the horror section, so they were considered horror genre. But nowadays they got many different variations of the type films. So anyway, I just started collecting them again. I started collecting them years ago, back when I was first getting into collecting horror, and I kind of fell away from it. But just recently now, I started buying the old VHS tapes, kind of trying to hunt them down, as well as other videos and DVDs that I don't have in my collection. So there's a website called BlueLips.com. They're a very good website, geared towards morbid type fascinations, and shockumentary films is one of their things that they sell, some of their items. I've purchased from them before, great company. So this time around I made a purchase of Phases of Death, not Faces of Death, Phases with a Z of Death, the box set. I'd never had the box set, so I figured I'll pick them up on there. They're one of the cheaper around, so I grabbed them. Placed my order, guys. Weeks went by. The order never arrived. I went ahead and called customer service on BlueLips.com, and I got a reply back from somebody on my cell phone. I don't answer numbers that I don't recognize. And the person said that the package was actually going out, and to just keep, they should be there any day. Fine. That's fine. I got a reply back. I had a question, got a reply back. Well, another couple weeks went by, and nothing arrived. And now, guys, this order is pretty substantial. I paid a good amount of money, so as you can tell, I started getting a little bit frustrated over the fact. So I yet again placed another call to Blue Lips customer service. Explained on the voicemail, voice message with Blue Lips, that I was, very, concerned about the whereabouts of my package. And within minutes, guys, I got a call back on my cell phone. Again, phone tag, I didn't answer it, from none other than Tony Riss, who is the founder of BlueLips.com. So she left a message saying to call her back. Well, I called her back, and she was great, guys. My whole, I was getting frustrated with the company as a whole, but then when she assured me that she was going to send out another package, my package had gotten lost and actually ended up a state away from me, and I was blown away. We actually had probably like a half hour or so conversation. So as we were talking, we touched upon different things, but I want to kind of give you, and that's part of the second segment you'll hear today, is our exchange, our audio exchange. But just to give you a little heads up on who Tony is, BlueLips.com used to be called Death Becomes You. 1999 was when it was originated. BlueLips.com didn't come around until March of 2002. BlueLips.com specializes in gargoyles, shockumentary DVDs, books, skulls, skeletons, gothic t-shirts, Egyptian displays, and much more. Tony, the founder, was actually had a guest appearance on the Penn and Teller show called Bullshit. You guys, most of you remember that. It was on HBO. She was in a segment called Death Segment Inc. She was also a guest star in Flight from Death, The Quest of Immortality movie, which is a documentary type movie. And she also did a article in Vice magazine titled "I'm Dying Over Here." And guys, much of this is related to Tony being diagnosed with cancer. So that's why she did a lot of these type appearances. So, with that being said, I had a fantastic conversation with her. I mean, I had so much fun speaking with her, and, you know, you're about to hear it. I'm going to share it with you. I did edit, Tech Guy Timmy and I did edit a lot of the audio because some of it was private, and you know, for privacy reasons, we bleeped it out and did some things like that. But yeah, guys, I'm blown away by this conversation. She talked about some pretty crazy stuff, to be honest, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Please stand by and listen to it. And I will come back at the end for a nice little, you know, outro, so to speak, to kind of let you know the back end of the story. Okay, guys? Enjoy.
Hello,
Hello, may I speak to Tony, please?
this is.
Hi, Tony is from, you left me a message. I called you first about order through Blue Lips.
How far are you from Pennsylvania, from Pittsburgh?
I'm about 9 hours away from Pittsburgh.
Well, that's where your package ended up.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
It sat on a shelf for several days. Now, here's what I got from the post office. I'm going to send you out another package.
Okay.
I've already made arrangements for them to send that one back to us. They didn't know if your name was, and they kept telling me it should be Coleman, and I'm going, well, no, on the order it says.
Right.
And I looked at your PayPal account and went,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going, well, even if the name's different, why didn't you get it to this guy's address? And they said, oh, we've had this going on, we've had that going on, and we think we misrouted it. And I was going, okay, well, you know what? I don't want to have an upset customer. So
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and resend it out. I didn't want you to think we had done it because I talked to you. Remember when we talked and I told you that Faces was different from Faces?
Oh, yeah. You left me a message a while ago. Or some time ago. Okay, yeah, I did hear that, and then I just figured, you know, I just kept waiting for the package to arrive. That's why I didn't call you back. You know, I just thought, well, it'll be here any day now. And then when it didn't, that's why I figured I'd call.
You not jumping the gun on us and you know, getting ugly about it, because especially this time of year and with weather instances and everything else, there's sometimes things just get screwed up.
I understand.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another one in the mail to you. It's going to go out priority mail. Now, I'm not going to be able to get to it before tomorrow because we're having really bad weather here.
Okay.
But I will. I'll make sure it goes out tomorrow. And I'm really sorry about this.
Oh, it's okay. I've actually ordered from you guys several years ago, something else I got a while back. So, you know, I know it's kind of, you know, I know these things happen. So I'm just glad that you're going to go ahead and, you know, get another one out as soon as possible so I can, you know, still get it. So.
Yeah, no, we have plenty of those. Those have not been a huge seller. And part of it, I think, is because everybody wants the fake faces of death.
Right.
A lot of that stuff is reenactments and stuff, and you know, if that's what they want, great. But we've had a hard time getting that and not having it be a bootleg, and I don't deal in bootlegs.
Right. And I'm a collector, so I collect a lot of shockumentary films, and I got all the original Faces of Death ones. I even got the VHS tapes, and you know, I saw this on your guys' site as opposed to like Amazon, and you guys have a cheaper price. So that's why I ended up going with you guys with it.
And we appreciate the business. Amazon can get a little crazy. We actually sell. We don't sell that particular item. What we found is on everything.
Right. Yeah.
So like on Traces of Death, they came up with that stupid DVD rule that unless you could prove billing and everything else, you can't sell a DVD for more than $24.99 on.
Oh.
It's hard to get gated. So let me tell you what they did to us on Traces of Death, the 5 DVD set. They came back and told us we could only sell it for $24.99.
Oh, give me a break.
For all 5 DVDs. And has a monopoly on that DVD set. So they made it impossible for us to sell it. And it's not allowed on eBay. So
See?
I thought, well, they are just really jerks.
Yeah, it's not fair. Yeah, it's not. That just takes the, you know, the smaller businesses out of the loop. That's not cool.
Well, and they got really mad at us because at one point we had a really cool embalming restoration DVD up. It's a silent era DVD. It's mastered from a original film, and it's a really cool, but it's silent, and people love that thing. And they took it off because they said, well, we can't get access to it, so you can't sell it.
Oh.
And I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. We sold hundreds of those.
Right.
Before they cracked down and said, and here's the irony. They're worried about bootlegs, but a lot of the people they've gated for DVDs are bootleggers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, you know, we're the legitimate little company, and you shut us out completely.
Wow.
So we don't sell a lot. I sell more on eBay, but I will definitely get you taken care of. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Like I said, I know these things happen.
When I contacted the post office, they went, yeah, we're in Pittsburgh, and I was going, what? I don't know how far that is from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's quite a ways away.
I was going to say, I hope he's an Eagles fan.
If I was in the air, if it was closer, I would have just driven there. But 9 hours is quite a bit, and that's one way. 9 hours one way. So yeah, so it would be 18 hours to drive.
Well, here's the other thing that happened. I think it was originally routed to Memphis, which is a FedEx hub. It's a big FedEx hub. I think what happened was originally the post office thought, you know what, we'll just do this by Smart Post. And they didn't tell us because I saw Smart Post in the notes. And I went, wait a minute, I didn't ship this Smart Post.
Oh, okay.
Those packages can take a lot longer, which is why I don't do Smart Post. And it's not really cheaper. It's just half of the travel for the package goes through FedEx, and then they hand it off to the post office. And I see it as a big waste of money because it really doesn't save the customer anything, and it takes longer.
Right. It's almost not worth it, right?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that this ended up at another FedEx location, and then they were going to hand it off to the post office in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh didn't know what to do with it.
And it
so
sat
they left
there.
it on the shelf.
Yeah,
it sat there.
That's what happened.
So the manager I talked to said she would get it back to me. And I said, please do, because we don't like to lose merchandise. She said she would take care of that, and then I will send you out. I'll have it packaged up tonight.
Okay.
And then I'll get it on its way to you tomorrow.
Absolutely. If you don't get it out till tomorrow or next day, I'm not worried. As long as I know it's coming, I'm happy, you know. And that E-Bomber video you mentioned, do you offer that on your site too?
Yeah, I do.
How much does that run about without me going on there and looking?
It's around $25.
Okay, I might actually go ahead and get one of those too. I guess we'll get that in the next delivery, but that sounds very interesting, like something I'd like to have in the collection as well.
It's an amazing restorative work. The way they fix damaged people, it's really interesting to watch. Now, I'm not a funeral director, and I've had plenty of really bad funeral directors get mad at me for my business because they don't want the public to know how they do things. They don't want people to know what goes on behind closed doors. They about all pitched a fit when they found out I had an embalming video, and they said, "What? How did she get that?"
Right,
Well,
right.
I had a funeral director who produced him who came to me and said, "I'd like you to carry this on your site." So we did, and we took a lot of shit over that. But I thought it was fascinating to look at because I was going, I've always been curious.
Yeah, you really don't know, it's fascinating.
When I was on Penn and Teller Bullshit, I was on season 2 in a Death Incorporated segment, and they interviewed me.
Oh, you were? Wow, okay.
Yeah. I said, look, I was asking the funeral home, what do you do to me when I die? I mean, what are you going to do to my body? And they told me I didn't need to know. And I said, if you're asking me to pay thousands of dollars for this, I want to know what the hell
what you're doing.
You're going to do to me. And I will tell you, this same funeral home, I went to a funeral for a friend's aunt, and we went up and she had been autopsied. They didn't use autopsy filler on her. And we went up and she touched her aunt, and all of a sudden you could smell freshen up cat litter throughout the entire chapel. They had stuffed her full of freshen up cat litter.
Holy cow.
And then sewed her up.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
Well, this is why they don't want us to know what they do, because they often cut corners, and then they charge you a lot of money for cutting corners.
Wow. That's incredible.
Some bad funeral directors absolutely hate Blue Lips because we love to go after the bad guys and expose them. And I get people all the time who call me up and go, do you know anything about this funeral home? And if I do, whether it's positive or negative, I'll tell them my honest opinion. But there's not every funeral home I know anything about.
Right,
but I pretty much know all the ones here. And I can tell people who's scrupulous and who you need to run away from. We've got a mom and pop operation here. They own 7 funeral homes in our area. And their crematory keeps getting in trouble because we busted them. We and the EPA and the Funeral Consumers Alliance discovered they were doing multiple cremations a couple of years ago, and they're still doing them.
Oh, my goodness.
I was over there one night with a friend, and we were in a dark vehicle, and they opened up their garage door. We found out they didn't have any refrigeration for the bed. They have absolutely no refrigerators in that crematory. So they were stacking everybody up on the garage floor.
Oh, my goodness.
I got a really good photograph of all of these feet on top of feet in this crematory. And we went out on Facebook and posted it. Oh, my God, they freaked out. They were like, how did you get that?
I mean, these places should be shut down. I mean, that's abuse of a corpse there. That's pretty bad.
Well, this is how family gets around it. Originally, was on the funeral board, so every time they did something wrong, the commission would look the other way because the son was on the board.
Oh.
And they would go, oh, we can't really do anything to them because got elected, right? Wasn't reelected this year. So now everybody's looking at this family really hard going, okay, now we can get him.
Right.
Because he's no longer on the commission. But you know how karma comes back and bites people?
It happens.
A couple of years ago, we had a tornado here the day after Christmas. What a time of year to have a tornado.
Yeah, wow, right? That's odd.
And it was an S5, and it cut across Lake Ray Hubbard, which is a huge man-made lake here. That yacht was sitting on Lake Ray Hubbard when the tornado hit. And was the guy who does the bad things.
Right.
At the crematory. His boat got hit head on. And he didn't have enough insurance on it.
Oh, what?
So
Such a shame.
helping with the cleanup. Oh, he's so arrogant. He said, "Why I don't need to carry a lot of insurance on that boat because nothing will ever happen to it."
Famous last words, right?
Little did he know, right? But here's the funny thing to my story. He used to have this obnoxious sign on the back of his boat that said, "I burn for you." And it was IBURN, and then the number 4, and then the letter U. And that was like his boat license plate, right? When we were cleaning up at Lake Ray Hubbard and I was part of a volunteer team, I found the sign. So I grabbed it. I asked the guy at the cleanup, I said, "Can I have this?" And he goes, "Yeah, but what the hell is it saying?" And I told him, and he goes, "Oh my God, I've seen that boat, and I know that guy's a prick." And I said, "Oh yeah, he is." And so he said, "With my blessings, go ahead and keep it." So you know what because years ago when I got my cat at his pet crematory, I didn't get my cat back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have been mad at him ever since because of the way he operates. Well, I called him up and I said, "Hey, I got your boat license plate." He goes, "Oh, great. You're going to give it back to me?" And I said, "I'll tell you what. After what you did to my cat, I'll sell it back to you for $4 million."
Good for you.
And I won't let him have it back. In fact, I have it hanging in my garage.
Oh, nice.
I have it up on the wall, and it's the first thing you see when I open up my garage door.
That's cool.
I burned for you.
Yeah.
He burned me over my cat. I paid for a private cremation for my cat, and his guy threw it in with all sorts of other animals.
Yeah, that's not right.
Cremation.
That is horrible.
So when I got my cat's ashes back and I was going to scatter him, the first thing I noticed was a bird beak in the box.
Oh,
and
God.
What? And then I noticed dog canine, and I said, "Hold on a second. You charged me $400 for a cat.
And it's supposed to be your cat only, not multiple animals."
Right. Well, the guy that runs the crematory lied to me and said, "Oh, I put a partition in there." You can't do that. Nothing will withstand the heat.
Right.
I said, "You really think I'm
They know better than that. Yeah, they should know better. Oh, they're just...
Yeah, they checked the rates and figured people wouldn't know what they got. And then they'd be none the wiser, and they were making more money lying to people and saying they were doing private cremations when they weren't.
That's horrible.
I've had a love-hate relationship for a long time, and I was happy his boat got obliterated. So that was one thing that came out of the tornado that I think all of us who know this guy, we were so happy to hear that his boat got annihilated.
The karma for you, right?
Yeah,
karma
came back and really did him. I was kind of hoping they'd go further south and hit the crematory.
Right.
That would have really killed him to lose his crematory, but we're working on that.
Right.
It's no longer on the commission.
Yeah, so things might get a little bit easier. That makes me wonder about even in Pennsylvania where I live, if, how much of this type of stuff goes on. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, about some of these.
They develop laws that says you can't cremate at night because that's when a lot of this goes on. Because crematories figure nobody's going to be watching us at night, so we'll just do all the bad stuff at night, and during the day we'll try and make it look legit.
Legit, exactly. That's
right, but then at
shame.
night, they'll stuff as many people in as they can, and then just do them all at once. And we noticed that there was a lot of flame coming out of his retorts at night, and it shouldn't be doing that if they're operating correctly. And he never uses the afterburner, so there's all sorts of smoke that comes out at night. And we knew he was cremating at night. It was really obvious,
yeah.
and he wasn't supposed to be doing that.
And multiple deceased probably at once, like you said.
Yeah, in fact, I walked around the back once, and I found a half-burnt casket with a half-burnt body in it.
Oh, goodness. Oh.
And you think what he was planning on doing was he was going to restore the casket and use it as a rental casket at his chapel and put people in it when it already had a dead body in it.
Man, that guy, He's evil. That's evil. That's pure evil.
Oh, there's a, if you can find it on YouTube, there's a story that says, human remains found outside crematorium. But they misspelled the word crematorium. Instead of, spelling it C-R-E-M-A, they spelled it C-R-E-M-E.
Oh, okay.
And it's on that crematory that we've been going after, because when they get too many bodies cremated and people aren't picking up the ashes, they'll dispose them right outside the crematory door, and then they blame it on the public. Oh yeah, the family of Joe Schmo came over and decided to dump him right here at our front door. And so
wow.
I have a fascinating life now that I got out of technology. I have to tell you, going after the bad guys in the funeral industry is right up my alley, because I don't like their behavior. And we got clued in on that crematory, because one night a lady called us and she goes, I think something's wrong with the Kentucky Fried Chicken down the street. I said, what do you mean? She goes, I see all this black smoke coming out. I said, hold on a second, is there a cemetery nearby? She goes, yeah. I said, it's not the KFC that's making that, it's the crematory.
Oh my God.
She goes, God, it smells like burnt chicken. I said, yep.
Wow, you can actually smell it in the air.
Oh yeah, when they don't use the afterburner, the smell, everything comes out. And there's nothing like the smell of burning flesh. So, and when they stuff so many people in there, they're lucky they haven't burned down their building personally, but that's the way Scott does things. So anyway.
Wow.
If he comes up with the $4 million, I'll give him that. And then I'll be set for my retirement. And then I know he'll plan for my death. Because he wrote me once on his funeral home email. He said, I could have you murdered, and then I'd cremate you, and nobody would ever know what happened to you. And I thought, you've got to be the stupidest criminal I've ever met.
From his own
funeral home.
Oh gosh.
So I went to the police department and got a restraining order against him because he keeps threatening me. He doesn't like the fact I know how he really operates, so he's trying to silence me, and he hasn't succeeded so far.
No.
Anyway. Listen, I appreciate your time. Thank you for being such a
sure. Yeah, thank you. I actually like hearing your stories.
You didn't go run the PayPal.
No, absolutely not. I was wondering though, in my package, I kind of feel like since you've been on the Penn and Teller show and all, I kind of feel like I'm, talking to kind of like a celebrity, to be honest with you. Would you mind like giving me a couple Blue Lips business cards in the package and maybe like signing the back of one of them or something?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to.
That'd be really cool for me to have for my, kind of morbid collection I got going on over here.
I'm nobody's famous. I mean, they found me from a documentary I was in called Flight from Death.
Oh.
And, it's a documentary that's about Ernest Becker and his book, The Denial of Death. And Patrick, the director, found my website years ago. I think it was around 2005. And he said, you are really cool. He goes, I'd love to interview you and talk about your cancer and everything and why you started Blue Lips and everything. And we didn't really talk about Blue Lips in the film, but he was curious about my treatment and everything. And after we did Flight from Death, all of a sudden I started getting calls from Penn and Teller. And I was going, why am I getting calls from the production team at Penn and Teller? Well, Patrick had told them about me. And they said, if anybody needs to be in this funeral story, it's Tony, because this is her website. These have been her experiences with the funeral industry, and I think she'd be perfect for Penn and Teller bullshit. Now, you don't get paid anything when you're in these TV shows or anything, but what it was great publicity for Blue Lips for a long time, because people heard about us after that. And then, of course, they went off the air, which killed the advertising.
Oh,
but
yeah, right.
That was a neat show. That was a really
Oh,
neat
yeah,
show.
I like that show. Yeah, it was really neat.
They showed me riding through at the cemetery. We found this funny area at the cemetery. It was called the Fountain of Life. And I remember looking at the producers, and I said, isn't that like an oxymoron? Shouldn't they all be dead?
Yeah.
Well, we found out that they were selling that as their reincarnation section.
Oh,
And I
okay.
thought, okay, what a racket. Are you going to honestly tell people, oh, if you pay more over here, Uncle Joe will come back? I'm like, seriously, people are going to believe that?
I guess some do, maybe. I don't know. It's a market for everything, I guess.
Pay an extra $10,000 and let's just hope he does come back.
Wow. Incredible.
Like, what a racket.
Right.
Unbelievable they're like that. But that's how they operate. Anyway, thank you again for being such a nice guy. I'll throw in some business cards and I'll you've been so nice about this whole thing. I'm going to throw in a copy of Flight from Death.
Oh, cool. Cool. Can you sign that for me, Tony?
Yeah, if you don't mind me opening it up.
Yeah, absolutely. You can open it up and even sign the actual DVD on the front too, both the cover and inside. And
I'm really touched by that. You're my second autograph ever.
No, that would be really cool.
Come up to me at DFW Airport. I was waiting on a bench with, of all people, Deion Sanders, who was waiting for a ride. He was such a prick.
Really?
He was on my flight out of Denver, and he got me kicked out of first class. I had an upgrade.
Oh, what
They took my upgrade away from me and gave it to Deion because of his celebrity
status, right? Okay, that sucks.
So United, which has a bad reputation anyway, tried to make it up to me by giving me a whole row and coach up towards the front. And I said, well, okay, that's, I guess, a little compensation, but not really.
Not really.
I didn't get upgrades very often. But while I was sitting on the bench, Deion walked over and he goes, you're going to have to move. I said, why? He goes, because my entourage is coming. I said, I'm waiting on a super shuttle. He goes, well, I don't care. You're going to have to move. And I thought, you prick. So while I was sitting there, because the pilot had asked him for an autograph, and he said he wouldn't do it for less than $75. So he was going to charge the pilot for his signature, right? This lady came up to me, and she goes, I saw you in Flight from Death, and I loved you. Oh, that's really nice of you to say. She goes, yeah, I saw you on the plane, and I went, yeah, she was also on Penn and Teller. And I was going, wow, I've got a fan.
Yeah.
So she asked for my autograph, and Deion kept looking at me like, who the are you? Right? And I smiled at the lady, and I said, and you know what? I don't even charge for my autograph.
Nice. Cool.
And I winked at her, and she knew that was Deion Sanders sitting next to me, and he's got a terrible reputation here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him at all. I think he's arrogant and cocky, and
Oh, he's awful.
Yeah.
Just awful. And while I was sitting there, he told me again to move while that lady was sitting there. And she says, you know what? If you need a ride home, Tony, I've got a Cadillac. I'll just take you. And I thought, well, poo-poo on Deion. I mean, he's going home in a Ford Explorer and I'm going home in a Cadillac.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool.
And I know to this day he's probably still looking back on that like, who in the fuck was that woman that I was so rude to at DFW?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I like that.
I'm always happy to sign for a fan. I'm not 5 minutes to save. But yeah, I'll sign up for you.
Oh, thank you I'll definitely cherish it too. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's great.
If you want to sell it on eBay and you get several million, that'll be a good show.
Well, there's one thing I can assure you. I'm kind of like, I would even say I'm almost like a hoarder of true crime collectibles and DVDs. So the only way that thing will see eBay is if, I need the money for my health or something like that. But otherwise, it'll be staying in my collection.
Well, I've actually signed 3 times. I had a little guy come up to me when Penn and Teller took me around Hollywood. They showed me all the cemeteries. Those guys were fun to hang out with.
Oh, I bet.
We stopped off at a Starbucks, and Penn Jillette told the crowd, because everybody was crowding around asking for his autograph. He said, you got to start getting her autographs. She's got them coming, right? So this little guy came up to me, and he goes, will you sign for me? And I said, sure. So I signed for him twice, and he goes, I'm going to sell your signature on eBay.
Oh.
And I said, oh, well, that's cool. I hope you make some money. He wrote me later on, somebody paid $500 for my signature.
Oh.
And I went, are you kidding me? I don't even have 500.
Yeah.
And so I got a big chuckle out of that. And the little guy offered me half of it.
Oh, well,
said,
at least that was nice.
You know what I would rather you do? If you seriously want to do something, donate some money to the Race for the Cure. And his mom said, we'll do that. Because my son just loved you on Penn and Teller, and then he got to see you in Flight from Death.
Oh.
And we're all wondering, how come some agent hasn't picked this lady up? But I'm not looking for fame.
Right,
I like
right.
doing Blue Lips too much.
Yeah.
Blue Lips brings me some notoriety.
Yeah, I mean, you just sound like a generally, nice person. Just wow. Yeah. No, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to oblige. I mean, I'm really touched. But I'll get all that on its way to you.
Okay. And like I said, if you can't get it out till tomorrow, the next day, I definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
cool.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Cool customer.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a customer for life for Blue Lips. I might even down the road get some other things off of there. I was looking at some of those paramedic videos and some other things that you offer. So I'll certainly be a returning customer for sure.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Tony.
Take good care.
Thank you so much for calling me back. That's great. I would certainly appreciate it.
All right. You have a good day now.
You too, Tony. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Okay, guys, what'd you think of that? Some pretty crazy stuff. But you know what, guys? Nothing surprises me anymore. I mean, this stuff, what's that saying? Truth is stranger than fiction? Well, that kind of hit the nail right squarely on the head with that conversation. Very fascinating. It makes you really wonder what's going on out there. But I did want to show you, and you probably did see some of this through the slideshow during the audio, but here is the Phases of Death 2000, the shockumentary for the 21st century. This is the complete box set, guys. Still in the shrink wrap. One of the cheaper prices around. I'm going to go ahead and open these up at some point and start watching them. And another cool thing that Tony did for me was she threw in some business cards. And this one that's in the plastic here is actually signed by her. It says, "Best wishes, Tony Riss, flight cancer patient, still kicking." Okay, guys? You probably saw that in some of the slideshow feature of the audio. And lastly here, we have the Flight from Death, The Quest for Immortality DVD that Tony guest starred in. Okay? And she even signed the DVD itself there. Very cool, guys. I can't wait to check this one out. I'll probably watch this one this weekend. Very cool. I'm just blown away, guys. Tony is such a nice person. Just so cool, I could actually talk to her for hours. But I do want to attach down at the bottom in the link below a link for the Race for the Cure for people afflicted with this horrible disease called cancer. And I do also want to put a link below for bluelips.com, their website, because, it's just a great site, guys. I mean, even with, the customer service by, the owner, the founder calling me back herself, that's old school, guys. You never get anybody on the phone anymore. So I am just so happy, blown away by the experience. And please keep Tony in your prayers. I hope to have a follow-up conversation with her again at some point. But again, it was just a wonderful experience, and bluelips.com is just a great company to deal with. Okay, guys, I got to run. We'll see you next time.